back to the Brew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 191. Back in the church room bar. Man, it feels good after all this time to be back in the church room bar. I gotta say, we did a lot of pre-production. I had a ton of stuff to say, but I have only one thing that I do remember I was gonna say, and that's that we're gonna do. I have a good thing for the end. If we have time. It can either be a rapid fire question or it can be a questioning for discussion, but either way, same questions.
We were just talking. I'm excited for that. We were just talking about baseball, so our pre-production wasn't even podcast related.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
And so it brings me to my question. It's going to be my kickoff question. So we were talking about baseball trades and a player to be named later, the dreaded player to be named later.
Yes.
Hardly ever works out. Even going to the Google machine. I mean, there's a couple instances, but most of the time it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So let's apply that to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
A beer to be named later.
Beer to be named later.
So you could do it one of two ways I see it. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You could either name a beer or just brew a beer, put it in a can, and run like a nationwide contest. A beer to be named later.
Yeah.
And they'll do like a national poll.
That.
Okay, so this is just off the top rope. Or, like if you're ever trading beers,
mm-hmm.
we're a part of communities where trading beers is a thing. You could get beers in the mail or like talk about your trade and then throw in a beer to be named later.
Yeah, I like that.
I think the gimmick on the first one is better though.
Yeah, the gimmick on the first one is good. Yep.
And then like put it up to a national contest, or if you're a small brewery or something, have like a brewery exclusive and be like, we're gonna name this beer today. And if you name the beer, you get like a free 6-pack or something like that. So then people are really, because beer names are something that we've talked about on the podcast often, as long as we've been doing the podcast. And that would be a good way to be like an outreach.
Yeah.
A beer to be named later.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where we talk about a beer name.
Yeah.
And we drink the beer and we look at the can art and we're like, none of the things that I've had today seem to line up with this name.
Right.
And this would give people a chance to not only taste it, but even if you made an all-white can.
Right.
And you allowed it to like be dry erase, you could even create your own can art that matches the name.
Or like work with the brewmaster that day, like if your name's selected or something like that. Work with some, most of the time, as we've discovered, a lot of that time it's outsourced to like a local artist or whatever. But you could work with, it's like how I envision, let's say you're involved in a horrible crime. Let's say the crime is somebody at a bar spills a beer on you. When you meet with the police sketch artist, that's like how artists work. You just say,
basically,
they're about 6 foot tall. They wear glasses and they've got a full beard.
Full beard. Yeah, that's usually the profile. That's how almost all of them always start.
Egregious crimes committed by people who don glasses and have full beards.
There's a lot of egregious crimes. But the only thing I would change in that situation is what you get for free if you win. And if it's my brewery, you drink.
That's a terrible name for a brewery, by the way. My brewery.
I like that name, actually.
No.
Come on up to my brewery.
No.
We have a new beer.
Where are you at? I'm at my brewery.
I'm at my brewery. It's in Dayton. I like it.
Okay.
Now it becomes complicated when you're like, I'm an entrepreneur, I own a brewery, and they're like, what's it called? And you say, my brewery. My brewery's called my brewery. It makes sense, but it also sounds stupid.
It's a gimmick, like
it is a gimmick
in a college town, and I like gimmicks. A college town, they name a bar the library.
Here's a gimmick,
and then it says like up on the if mom calls, tell her I'm at the library. That used to work before the advent of cell phones, because they would just call your landline. Just tell mom I'm at the library. Well, the library is a bar.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like that gimmick. Here's a better gimmick, and it's for you specifically.
Yep.
It's called. The brewery's called The Flight.
Yeah. Gross.
Exactly. And then you go in and they have flights.
You want to know something?
You order a flight, the right flight with a W.
My so we're about to
That's a good name for Warped Tour, by the way. The Wright Brothers Flight, which is a flight of beer named after the Wright brothers.
Go
ahead, Hansen.
So I got a flight story, but what I just poured out of a growler is 7th Son Cali Gold. It's a 5% Pilsner because we both drank our beer during the beer talk.
Yeah, we did.
And it came in a growler from our friends at Barrel House.
I didn't finish the one thought. I would change the 6-pack.
Yeah.
You just drink in person, unlimited. Of that beer only.
Put a push pin in the 6-pack because I'm going to bring that up here during this beer description. But my flight story, the reason why I got verklempt there for a second is Chuggle Orion.
You get choked up over here about the flight.
Chuggle Orion is in Alaska right now. I can say that because I'm not doxing him.
Yeah, no.
And
there's a lot of people in Alaska right now named Ryan, I'm sure.
He sent me a Snapchat. Everyone knows my absolute disdain for flights. Just commit to something. That fucker took a flight and dropped it all, spilled it.
Ooh.
So instead of 1 beer and glass, now you have 17 beers or however big your flight is in all that glass.
Here's the good news though. Once you drop a flight, it's all 1 beer.
You should have to drink it.
You should. It's the bar mat. It's the bar mat drink of beers. That should be. I'm okay. Like, would you accept flights if every time you order it, there's always 1 cup that's a mixture of all the beers you ordered?
No, because I could do that. That's not going to incentivize me.
Well, is there anything that you do is there anything that a flight could change about itself that would make you want to have a flight?
Yeah. So for that price, instead of you get a flight of pints for the same price.
Oh, same price? Yeah, I'd be down for that.
So,
but you're not committing to 1. Still committing to 4 or 5.
I'm committing to 1 flight of pints.
All right.
Flight of pints. All right. So this is 7th Son Cali Gold. It's 5%. It's a Pilsner. 7th Son we've had before on the podcast, but it bears repeating. They're from Columbus, Ohio, so just east of here. You can find out more from 7thsonbrewing.com. And the reason why I wanted you to put a push pin in that 6-pack is if you get they have a inter-promotional gimmick right now they have 3 different brewery locations in and around Columbus.
I didn't know that.
If you get 3 stamps at all of their locations.
3 stamps at each or 3
total? No, 3 stamps total. So you go to all 3 locations. You either get a t-shirt or a 6-pack for $1.
Ooh,
and do you know why that is?
Because beer can't be given away.
You cannot give away beer.
That's stupid.
So,
thanks, Ohio.
But for $1, unless the t-shirt's
gotta be sweet.
Is the right makeup, light, loose fitting and stuff. I'm taking that 6-pack every time, and it's any 6-pack that they offer.
Yeah. Now I will say again, this is not an endorsement, although it seems like it could be because this is a perfect sponsor for this podcast.
Yep.
But Shirts on Tap, they did it right. They have the right T-shirts.
Yep.
And they explain their whole process, but they also do give you the option to switch out of that shirt if you want, and they allow you to go backside logo or front side logo.
Yep.
Which if you get the back one, then you get a chest emblem. I like that.
Two of my favorite wares I've bought from breweries. One was the Rheingeist tank top that I wear often on the
Great
pod.
tank top.
And the other one is the crooked handle t-shirt that I bought. Both again, right material, right fit, very loose. So coming back to 7th Son, again, you can go to 7th Son, you gotta spell that out, brewing.com. The main takeaway is their main facility is in an Italian neighborhood. So Columbus has what would you call it? Because they have Germantown, Italian, ethnic, but historically ethnic.
Yeah.
And they tout that over the course of their history, they've brewed this many number of beers. They've been around for just over 10 years. How many beers have they? Different beers.
Oh, how many different beers have they brewed in total?
Yep.
70.
225. And this beer was given to me by Chuggle Aaron, along with the Schlitz.
Oh, yeah.
Historic glasses. These are 8-ounce historic pours back when men were men and they only needed 8 ounces of beer.
I thought they needed a pint.
No.
You want a flight of 8 ounces?
This was... we're trending in the positive direction.
Yeah, kind of double.
Yeah, but there's a lot of variations in flights. Like, again, I think this is the first beer we've had out of growler. We've had crawler beers.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
I don't think I've submitted my growler. I know we've had beer. We've had beer out of the growler.
Yes.
I don't know if on the podcast, though.
No, I don't think so.
So anyways, these came from Chuggalo Aaron, and
Aaron.
he had one drink and goes, save this for the podcast. So,
Didn't like it?
And no, he did. I always say, don't tell me anything about it if you're submitting it.
Yeah.
That's why
Sweet.
I come with
Very good.
virgin taste buds.
Oh, I like it.
So then I'm sporting it because it came from, he told Matt down at Barrel House that he was taking it here, and he goes, Matt will like this one. Obviously, I did. It's main lunch.
Oh, the guy at Barrel House? The
Yeah.
gentleman there said Matt would like this.
And
Man,
then,
you know everybody. I wish I was.
We know Matt.
That's fantasy,
Matt's the one that.
I thought you were Matt, that he was saying you'd like it.
Oh no. Matt told Aaron that Matt would like this.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, it's worked out. So Seventh Son Cali Gold local beer. The next beer. This is going to be the first podcast in a long time where I haven't done either a sour or an IPA.
Holy shit.
I know, it's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah. So I was just thinking about these growlers.
Growlers, yep.
And yeah, that's awesome.
No.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. Chuggalo's Phil, when we went to DBC.
Yep.
And DBC carries an enormous amount of beer. And in my opinion, too many.
40's too many?
I think that's too many.
But King's Table carries more.
That's too many too. But I think that King's Table has more diversity.
Yeah, because they go outside of Ohio.
You can get a barley wine there,
yep.
and a stout, porter, pilsner, everything, sour, whatever, Berliner Weiss.
Just keep naming them.
DBC, I feel like half of them are IPAs.
Yeah.
Whether they're super, barrel aged or whatever, just experimental stuff, all the way to your sessions. But there's just so many IPAs. But anyway, they had this gingerbread beer. I don't even remember what type of beer it was. I think it was a lager. And Chuggalo's Phil bought a growler of that. We got stamps. That was the last stamp we got, first and last, because I always forget. And we didn't finish the gingerbread before it skunked.
So my question for you then is, opinion on growlers, yay, nay?
I just in the experiences I've had with them, it's too much. Based on how much beer I keep in my fridge, it's way too much beer for one type.
I'm 100% with you in agreement. The problem is it loses its carbonation a little bit. So this is, still got a nice head on it or whatever, but it was only open once and then it was sealed again, and you saw me have to use the shirt opener. The growler that I have that can be pressurized, again, that sustains beer over a long period of time. But typically, open, close, you have to drink it. You've got a finite period of time. So overall, not unless it's a specialized circumstance, pressurized growler, or one where literally it just sat there. I'm not pro growler.
Yeah, I'm not pro growler. These are for people who are one beer people.
Yep.
Like my brother-in-law, Chuggalo Bobby, he likes that lug nuts beer. It's like made by some DJ at QN1.
But that's a solid night for him, right?
Great beer,
yep.
Solid night. He could drink this whole thing by himself and probably be sober at the end of it. And it's perfect for those types of people.
Right.
Or like you said, your dad. He's a one beer guy.
Yeah. Mick Golden Light, and but he doesn't like it on tap.
Well, then growlers aren't for him.
Yeah, no growlers. He's a beer snob in the fact that he wants prepackaged beer he doesn't want on draft.
When it's bottled, is the spout that pours it not a tap? I know it's different, obviously, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At some point, everything's on tap.
It's a different whether it's draft.
Yeah.
But he swears by it. Like if he drinks draft beer, his next day's ruined.
Yeah. Maybe it's the keg metal.
And it can be the same. Well,
are kegs lined?
Yes. Question mark?
That's a good question. I wonder if that, because that's steel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And aluminum, steel, they're just, and
Well,
aluminum cans are lined.
Yeah, now they are.
Now they are. Yeah.
That's a recent-ish development.
But I'm sure Mick Golden Light is a glass bottle type of beer because it's a classy beer.
He drinks it mostly out of the can.
Oh wow! Didn't know that. Didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he recycles the aluminum. Believe me, he recycles
of any variety in a can. I don't think I've ever seen
I know
maybe Kramer's.
It's been here the same time you've had it, or that we've drank together here. Because it used to be in a ribbed can, like it was faceted, like it had
like the Heineken ones,
80 facets on it.
Oh yeah.
So no, these were
like
vertical.
a cranberry sauce can.
Yeah, that's horizontal. This is vertical.
Oh,
all the way around.
Vertical.
Yeah.
I've not seen.
They were the best. Those Mick Golden. Do
awesome.
Yourself and Google them. It's
like a raisin.
But that's more like this is
That's too random.
This is uniform. Yeah.
Just keep.
It looks like those blinds.
I keep naming things.
Yeah, just look like on the side of the can.
Like wood grain.
Again, random. This is all uniform.
All right, vertical lines.
Yep. Vertical facets. Like whatever an 80 shaped octahedron.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like.
Octahedron.
Yep. You could have rolled.
That's like an 80, right?
Instead of like rolling smooth, it would go tick tick tick.
Like
tick,
a D20 dice.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
But way more than 20.
But way more, like 80.
That would be a good trivia question for how many facets did a Mick Golden Light can have?
The standard. I have been. One more side note.
Yeah, no. Side notes are good.
I've been digging in. So there's a huge garden bed next to the carriage house.
Yep.
And I've been digging it up. I'm gonna build a patio.
The tall one or the short?
The raised one.
The raised one.
So
okay.
I'm digging out a lot of that dirt manually. I'm gonna do this all myself until I decide that this sucks and I'm not gonna do that anymore. And it does suck already.
Three 5-gallon pails full of dirt, and you're like, this sucks.
I've gotten way more than that already.
4.
I've taken out a full tarps load.
What's
a tarps load? What does that equate to? Many gallons.
Yeah.
Like
7 growlers.
I would say maybe cities who use waste management have those big plastic garbage cans. 2 of those I've probably dug up manually. But that includes many weekends of getting out English ivy and tilling. A lot of tilling. Because the dirt is so packed, it's 100 years old, and the English ivy fucks it up. It like, you can't get the dirt because the English ivy is so deep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyway, so I'm at the digging part now, and I'm finding buried fucking pathways. There's red bricks under there, just perfectly placed, like they were just put there yesterday. And I'm finding old cans, like really old cans.
Yeah.
And some of them like RC from the 70s, 60s, some beer cans.
Some of those are worth money. Like you're not.
Yeah,
like...
I need to try to save some of these things. But there's like, Yingling bottles from like forever ago, and it's etched in. It's raised or something out of the glass. Yeah, so I don't know who was living in that house,
but
50 years ago.
They know.
But they threw a shitload of cans in that garden, and I'm uncovering them anyway. No ribbed cans yet.
Are you gonna put a spiral staircase up into the carriage house from that side?
That'd be so awesome. We've talked about so many possible ways to use that. No.
Great. Well, that's it for.
We're
no.
I'm gonna put a stairway. There's a back door. You know that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
on the back side of
the back side. So
I was thinking on this.
So this patio is gonna actually have a staircase, a brick staircase, and then a pathway to the back of the carriage house.
Gotcha. Okay, so
there all can get into there.
There will be an obvious entrance.
You no longer have to go through the garage. Yeah.
Gotcha. Sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Even better.
And so that's where we're at. Now we are thinking about putting a spiral staircase in our attic,
or maybe put a fire pole in the carriage house.
Ooh, I like that.
Not in the bar though. Not in the bar.
Not in the bar.
No, because God, someone's gonna kill himself.
There's nothing better than a fire pole in a place where people drink. It either turns into a stripper pole, which isn't something I'm into.
No.
Not a big stripper guy. or it becomes a death trap.
Yeah, no one
for
likes
drunk people.
I will say this, and I will defend, because the stripper community, you're just saying that you're not into big strippers. More like adequately proportioned strippers.
Oh, interesting. I've not
Right.
categorized them because I'm not really like a person who partakes in strip club culture.
One of my that's what you're talking about. One of my favorite Adam Carolla jokes of like the last 2 years, and I'm going to steal it, so all the credit goes into him. He's more of a classic rock guy, so he's not into Fat Lizzo. He's more into Thin Lizzy.
Got it.
And I just like how that joke.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good.
Blends together.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's talk about this beer.
Cali Gold.
Cali Gold. 7 Sun. There's no can art to do, so can art bonus segment, though brought to you by Chuggalo. Aaron.
I challenge you to.
I can do it. It's a solid
boner up to that
glass. It is dark.
Here's another one that's
tinted. Oh yeah, I love Dayton Loves Beer. That's probably our best motto. Oh, hops are greater than hate. Well, that's good. I'm guessing that stemmed from maybe 2020. Some of the what would you call it? I guess
the animosity in the world.
Some of the events that took place.
And then when they became like Wu-Tang Wednesdays, which they have done since and it's Wednesday as we record this.
It is Wednesday, which makes it Wu-Tang Wednesday.
Wu-Tang Wednesday.
So that's the Can Art Bonus segment brought to you by Chuggalo. Aaron, excellent growler. I wonder if this has any art on it. No, it doesn't.
Nope.
Because I left those on. Cali Gold.
I don't know if you saw, one of the other growlers they brought was that that Dream that you guys had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I still have a little.
No.
I have a smaller growler of that upstairs. I was like, oh my god, this is what
Dream
they just
with
did.
a J.
Yeah, what they just did. I thought it was a typo when you typed it out and uploaded it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I typed it correctly. I don't even remember typing that. So, this beer, when I first started drinking it, all I could think of was that this is the unsalted pretzel of beer. Of Pilsners. It is very bready, but it has kind of that, I guess, yeasty breadiness to it, like a pretzel would have. I'm not sure. It's not a tang. It's not like any, I don't know what adjective would, other than breadiness.
Don't feel like you need to rush. The next one just needs a couple minutes.
Oh, okay. We got to give the next one a couple minutes. Probably has like that 42 degree requirement or something.
Right.
So this one, it doesn't have all of your signature Pilsner notes. A lot of times the Pilsners come at you with like that maltiness, I guess, that malt profile. And it's always a specific malt. It's very European. It's very distinct. You always kind of know what it is. You could tell yourself this is a Pilsner. This one doesn't have that. You might not know this is a Pilsner if someone didn't tell you it was a Pilsner. It's a totally bred. I would probably put this more in maybe in an ale, some sort of ale category. I don't know. Maybe not an ale. There's got to be something. Well, I don't know. I guess Pilsner is really the class that this falls in, but it just doesn't have that distinct Pilsner malt flavor. I'm sure it's in there. And Pilsners, I did learn early in this podcast, are the most complex beer to brew.
Right.
From a brewery perspective.
Because you can't hide anything.
So props to you on that, 7th Son. And also props to you for spelling out 7th. Easy to phone it in and just do a 7 and a TH, but nope, you spell it out. And they make it work with the logo. This beer is...
You can hear the pressure, like,
oh yeah,
it's gonna come up on the pod.
This beer is good, not great. It's well, I'm sure it's great, but I don't know that it doesn't have that memorable aspect to it. And I think we've talked about this before with Pilsners. Is there a way to make a Pilsner just unbelievably memorable? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's where it succeeds. Totally drinkable. The flavor gets lost. This does coat your tongue. And you kind of lose that punch. That first sip is punchy with bread. The rest of it's kind of just an addition to. 375.
I have nothing else. No, I'm just kidding. Off the top rope, I give this beer a 4.25. I'm grading this beer, I decided, against other Pilsners.
Yeah, that's probably how we
There is no 5 Pilsner that I've ever had that I've ever been like, wow. I log on to AOL Instant Messenger and I go, hey, JT, cool guy, 12. That's his screen name.
Yeah.
So you guys can write that down. Hopefully I didn't dox you on AOL Instant
No,
Messenger.
it's always been accident prone.
But so this is a good Pilsner. Where it differentiates itself, and I'm going to attack it differently than JT did. Most like Pilsners have like a sharpness to it, like so like a crescendo. This is a dull. This is a hump. There's a slight buildup, and then a slight declination to it. But what I like about it is it's different in a good way. Mm-hmm. There's thought, there's layers, there's complexity that went into this. Again, with Pilsners being the most difficult beer, it's because there's the German purity laws, there's only a few ingredients, and they can't hide behind gimmicks. Yeah. The gimmick here is that it takes something and it screws up the balance and makes itself into a delicious concoction that falls under the Pilsner banner. And for that, again, off the top rope, a 4.25. I would feel comfortable in giving this to an older gentleman that likes your Pilsner lagers, Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous, and kicking off a conversation, not because it's hilarious that they're having like a jalapeno spiced beer or something like that, but like this is what a modern Pilsner tastes like compared to like the old ancient Pils. The Pivos. Yeah, the Pivos. Something that's been brewed by his son and his son before him, maybe like a seventh son, in name, not in brewery status or execution. Yeah.
I think the Ukraine, we had a Ukraine beer that had a distinctly...
Yeah, what was the name of that?
Oh, yeah, fuck something, I think.
Yeah, Glock and, remember the biggest beer that we did, whatever, the 16% or whatever, like the straight diesel.
Yeah, that was interesting stuff. Here's something for the comment section, folks. Is there a 5 Pilsner? Put it in the comment section. What is it? I would like to try it. If you can get your hands on it,
I'll pay for it.
Yeah, I'll pay for it as well. We'll double pay for
There's not a 5 Pilsner.
I bet there's a 5 Pilsner out there. I bet there's a Pilsner that's just like, holy shit.
I would say that it would have to be coupled with a moment.
It's got
maybe. So this weekend I did a lot of yard work, or on Monday. So when we were texting back and forth,
nothing better.
I came in and I was gonna have a shower beer. I was sweating outside, edging, trimming up, landscaping, all this stuff for
just as pubes too,
a few hours. It was an incredible amount of pubes. And
sweat,
just with the hedge trimmer, hoping I didn't.
Getting in there. He had to change the battery on the.
Hopefully, I didn't have to nick off the little guy. And so I got in. I knew I was going to have a beer, and it was going to be one that I was going to take like 3 or 4 drinks at.
Yeah.
So
and you're done.
I had one of my favorite 450 sours, and that satiated me. Even though I did that in 3 drinks.
I don't know if I could do that at that heat in the heat.
Oh, it was. The best.
When I've been digging this patio out, I've been doing these green bush lights, the John Deere ones.
John Deere. I still have to go get a rack of 2022 Blapple.
Yeah.
I still haven't had one yet.
Yeah. If you if you find that you can't find it, I'll hook you up.
It's on my agenda to do tomorrow.
It's better than 2021.
I know you guys have said that.
It harkens back to 2020.
It harkens back.
Is
there a can difference?
Here's the reason.
Or like
no, the cans are not different at all. They're exactly the same.
No way to tell.
Like even the UPC where it has like the...
You could do a blind taste test and do the different years.
Yeah, you could. I guarantee you that both of us would succeed in that.
Okay.
But I remember that you gave me one after I had run out of 2020. You had like one left and you gave it to me, which I was so appreciative of. It was so fucking good. And then I got 2021's batch and I was like, I can't. This isn't as good. I don't remember. Like, I remember having this thought that was like, holy shit, this is good.
I don't have the same experience.
Well, let's get you into that. Let's get you into those shoes. Let's get you into that car, buddy. What would you pay? What would you pay today to get into that car?
All right.
All right, let's do this.
Beer number 2. Now we actually get to go for a crack in person, much like we hadn't been in the church room bar for all of June. We haven't done a crack in person because, again, you know, with the that was not primed, but I've got a nail. I'm ready.
I don't have any nails, but I got the thumb.
3, 2, 1. Excellent.
That was a good crack.
All right. So many people laughed at, by the way, 2 takeaways from last week's pod was people laughed at the up and, so I'm focusing on not looking at whatever's up there. I'm sure the algorithm will find it. And 2 was just the, again, we've always talked about it, just the horrendous volume, but.
It happens. We'll get it.
Okay. So this is Hi-Wire. We've had them before. Vietnamese, which I'm going to have difficulty with, coffee, iced coffee.
Yeah.
It's an 8%. It's an imperial stout. You can find out more at Hi-Wire, not Hi, H-I-G-H, but H-I-W-I-R-E, brewing.com. And they're out of Asheville, North Carolina, so just where Steve was for his... oh, by the way, did you see his one comment? He goes, "Who's Steve?"
Yeah, I did see that.
Hilarious.
Steve.
And...
That's so Steve.
So on our second podcast, we did a horchata.
We did.
10W40.
We did.
Which was polarized.
I love horchata.
So this is Vietnamese iced coffee in the same 10W40 line that Hi-Wire does. And if you go to their website, they're dedicated to tradition while striving for innovation. And I go, that is a conundrum. So I'm going to be traditional, but striving for innovation. Can you wrap your mind around both of those? Like, I think so. Like, is that not, to me, it was a mind fuck.
For tradition. Not striving for innovation, but grounded in tradition. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Wow. I guess you go old school. You brew like the cavemen did, but you add new ingredients.
So I'm glad you say that, because Hi-Wire on their website, the other takeaways, they're big into lagering, which is the process of how they break down. They have a bunch of definitions, and again, you can go to their website and check it out. So again, that to me, when you lager beers traditionally, that does say tradition. But they also have a wide assortment of I thought I needed to burp. Fruited sours and everything, so they're staying up to date with the times and the trends. You know, because again, business, trying to make money.
Gotta make money. That's tradition.
While lagers will bring people into the door, no one's going to talk about, you know, like, oh my god, I had this amazing lager. Yeah. Proof in point, Warped Wing. Warped Wing are local. Over 50% of their portfolio, where they make their money, is the lager, Trotwood Lager. But no one lauds them. It's a good lager, but everyone talks about like the specials in the
Ermels. I thought Ermels would be their bread and butter.
I think a cream ale still is too adventurous for some people.
Yeah, I
don't.
You're probably.
You and I don't agree, but I'm gonna project a little bit.
I think you're right. No, I think you're right. Flyer. What's Flyer? What is that? That's their other big beer.
They're red.
Selling beer. Yeah,
that's a red.
Oh, red? Oh, okay. Man, that's too adventurous.
Gross.
Yeah, you're right. Trotwood, probably the biggest one.
So
I don't mind Flyer. I like Ermel's the best. That's their best beer.
But I mean, you're the only person I know that prefers cream ale. And you've got a repertoire of cream ales. And so it's not like just a one-off. I mean, you do have your favorite, but like there's other cream ales that you're like, I'm down with this.
Yeah, I'll try any cream ale. It's and unless it's spicy, I don't want that shit. Don't put jalapenos in cream ale.
I dig that. I don't want it.
Creamy jalapeno? I guess that could be good.
Not an amalgamation of those two, but like I like spicy beers.
If you made I don't like spicy beers. But if you make like a Supreme Taco beer, I'll try it.
Supreme Taco?
Yeah. Cream ale that tastes like taco meat and jalapenos. I'm not saying it's a daily drinker, but we both try it.
You gotta have gimmicks in life.
You gotta have gimmicks. And 10W40, so 10W40.
Yep.
That's Hi-Wire's. That's their line of dark beer, and it's all, it's implied metaphor. Is it a metaphor, or something like a metaphor?
Simile.
Yeah, maybe.
A noun.
It's not literally oil, but it is like it's oil-like. It is their line that is thick and dark.
Facsimile.
Facsimile. It is their facsimile. Beep, 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 beep. They send it to you. It prints out, and here it is.
Someone made that. You went beep 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 beep. Millennials should or should not be able to identify with dial-up. If you didn't have dial-up, you should.
Millennials should.
Yes. So if you didn't have dial-up, you shouldn't be a millennial.
I agree with that.
It was interesting.
I think
that was also the run differential.
The millennial is if you were in K through 8.
Yep.
Or even K through 12. I'll accept K through 12. And at least 1 year or part of your schooling from K through 12 did not include internet. But part did. Both have to be true.
I remember.
That's a millennial.
I remember surfing the internet in 5th grade in Mr. Van Houten's room, my favorite teacher ever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was green screen.
Yeah.
And all you did was press 1 through 12.
Mm-hmm.
4 was sports, and it was the year.
Was sports.
It was the year that the Houston Rockets started 19-0. It was their first championship run.
Hakeem.
Yep. Hakeem, Clyde Drexler, and
That's great. So you're talking like
94.
Jordan's break.
94. It was the first year of Jordan's break.
First year of Jordan's break. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley was on. Well, he's on the Suns, and the other team was the.
He was the Suns because he didn't make it to Houston by that time because Charles Barkley famously does not have a ring. And,
famously.
Sam Cassell was on that team, and then was it Vernon Maxwell? But anyways, the reason why, because I was trying to keep up with, you know, because the school year had just started, and Mr. V, like he also did laser discs.
Yeah, we had laser discs.
Where like you would have to choose as a class, like in science class, like what do you agree? And it was like a choose your own adventure, which is what got me through school. I checked out so many choose your own adventure books. I would run out of fingers. I'd be like, okay, if I don't agree with this, I'll go back to page 87. You know.
Yeah, I think 5th grade was my last year without internet. Which is interesting because you're older than I am.
Yep.
6th grade, I believe, was when we got internet.
Yeah, I'll talk about this with because Chuggalo Mikey and myself grew up. He was in the other. Well, no, not in 5th grade, but so we were in the same, but we had a lot of the same experiences. Like that's where I solidified a lot of passions in life in 5th grade. Because that's when I first became enamored with like social studies and history and everything and geography.
Oh, okay.
Because I was the first one in my class to memorize all the state capitals.
Oh, that's great. I never did that. I know. I still don't have that down.
Yep. We do it like call and repeat. So she would say a state. So she'd be like Montana, and I would be like Helena, and everyone's like Helena. Like,
yeah. I remember that one.
Ironically, look at Matt like
I know
Missouri,
Columbus,
Jefferson
and
City.
Springfield.
So, but anyway, anywho, lots of off ramps as typical here on the
typical
on the PCP.
So 10W40 is the oil. It's a metaphor.
No one's car uses this stuff anymore. Like mine and my wife's vehicle use 020.
020. That's synthetic. I don't know what synthetic.
Yeah,
is.
both of us use synthetic, but
I don't know what.
So she's a 2012 vehicle and I'm a 2016.
I'm not an oil scientist.
So it's just the weight. So in the winter months, when your engine's working harder, you want a lower weight. So they will always tell you to use like a 5 weight or a 0 weight. But now, because engines are being manufactured tighter and better, you don't want that weight because you don't want to put that extra burden on top of your engine.
Makes sense.
And Ford's oil from the bottom and Chevy's oil from the top. And that exceeds my oil knowledge.
Oil from the bottom.
Yeah. So how the oil gets to the pistons.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, that's interesting.
Sorry, Stacey.
Also, plastic is made from oil. I know that.
Yeah. Boom.
There we go. All right. Vietnamese iced coffee. I don't know anything about Vietnamese coffee. I do know a little bit about Kenyan and Ethiopian coffee.
Because that's where coffee started.
And I do not like it. I do not like whatever the roast is. Well, the bean has a distinct flavor, and the roast, that's what makes Starbucks so unique from everyone else, is that they just over roast their bean. I don't think that's the case with these regional coffees. I think the bean has a taste that's different. I don't know anything about Vietnamese coffee.
Coffee is a flavor, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to add creamer or...
Right.
Sugar.
Coffee's a flavor.
Coffee's a flavor.
But there is a difference between where you get your coffee bean. And Vietnamese coffee is, by all accounts, this is my first and only experience. So far, so good. I do like coffee. Once I quit cream, I learned that you can taste different coffees differently. They're not all the same, which surprised me. So I wish I could say more about Vietnamese coffee, but again, I don't even think I need to stand up for this Can Art Runner segment. So this is a beer you bought?
This is a beer I bought.
Okay, so it's still sponsored by Chevrolet Aaron, the Can Art Runner segment. It is just coffee creamer swirled. It's like when you pour the cream in the coffee, but you don't mix it yet. It's all that's what the can. I'll show the camera.
I don't like to impede on your gimmick, but
yeah, please do.
May I have? Remember the Metallica Reload cover?
Yeah.
There's a lot more red in that.
Mm.
But that's what this reminds me of. And the reason why I bring it up is it's an excellent conversation point. I remember, and I don't think he listens, and I think the internet you'd be able to. The Reload cover for Metallica is Lars's blood and bull semen, and they mixed it around. Do you know the cover of which I talk about?
I'm sure I've seen it, and I've heard that something like that before.
Okay, so I'm not that far off.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure
that's all we had.
Interesting enough, what was I just watching recently that had Metallica? Oh, I think it was Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, see?
Like, they actually made me, I got into it, because I'm not a huge Metallica fan.
What?
But the way that they did that scene, I was really into it. Oh, okay. So that's blood and bull semen.
Yeah.
I like it.
So check that out. Metallica Reload 97. That was in full. Matt is identifying what music he's going to like for the rest of his life, because I was 14 in 97. Mm-hmm. So there's so much anger right now for Stranger Things.
Anger?
Yeah. All the plot armor and I loved it.
I loved it.
Thought
it was great.
Thought it was great. Thought it was satisfying.
I think they could have just stopped. They didn't need the second half. That could have been the beginning of season 5. I thought that the first half of season 4 ended so well. I was like adrenaline. This is awesome.
And I thought they announced that this was going to be the last season.
That's what I thought.
There's no way it's the last season.
Oh, it can't be. I mean, the's no conclusion.
There's
not
no
to
way.
give anything away, but very well done season. It totally redeemed anything it lacked in season 3.
Yep.
It makes up for in season 4. Phenomenal.
Yeah, but the Kate Bush running up that hill, Placebo does a great cover of it, and then Metallica, like Eddie on top of
Eddie, yeah,
rocking it.
Just so cool. Now there's a cool meme that he's like, "This is music," and then just you replace the cassette or whatever with whatever you like.
Yeah. And
then put the meme out. It's really good. Yeah, Stranger Things.
Again,
really
we don't have to be a critic about everything. It was a well done, and the plot armor, and it wouldn't make sense 2 days later. Fuck off. Just enjoy what you're going to enjoy.
It wouldn't make sense 2 days later. That's one of the critiques.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense, 2 days later. Not Hobb, whatever. Like he had his ankle shattered and all of a sudden was able to fight off a Demogorgon.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fine with me.
I love the name Katinka. Murray, by the way, is got to be an amazing kid. Like
Murray is the American who speaks Russian, right?
Yep.
He is awesome. His name is Brett Gelman. He's actually a comedian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got.
If you don't know that, so there's definitely don't listen to anything but the Brew Crew podcast. But there's a podcast called Comedy Bang Bang, and he's on a bunch of episodes, and he's so fucking funny. But he's also in The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and.
That's right. He is,
and he's like it's Christine. And he serves Arnie Palmies. That's him.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Because he's not known for all the facial hair and everything like that. I mean, he has a little bit, but not like...
Yeah.
Not the blown out, 70s that we all talk about. But anyways...
Phenomenal.
I'm a child of the 80s. That was the main part of the show took place before I was as aware as these kids, so they would be my seniors. Mm-hmm. But I love the period that it sticks with. It's the same reason why For All Mankind resonates so much with me too. Because now they're in the 90s. But
For All Mankind's in the 90s now?
Yeah.
Oh man, I need to catch up.
So good.
I haven't had a lot of time to watch TV, but
by far my favorite current show.
That's so good. Great to hear. The only thing that I wish would have happened was in the beginning of season 4. 11 is being bullied, and they never return to that theme. I feel like they're going to. Like what she tries to do something to the bully girl, and they wind up laughing at her.
I think that shows her demonstrates her desperation to return to back and being
so
a
they don't need to
superhero.
return to it.
I don't think they will.
Okay, that's a good point. Wow.
Because now she's solidified, and
she's good.
He says he loves her, so.
Mm-hmm. He did say that, and I hate to tell you, you're young. There's lot's gonna happen to you in your life.
Right. Well, it's just that gives the impetus for a lot of different plot points going forward. Again, I thought season 4 was going to be the last of it, but
11's probably she's gonna get through high school. She's gonna go to MIT, whereas what's his face is gonna go to Ohio State. And it's a good school, but I mean they're just gonna grow distant and marry somebody else. Do
you agree with the incumbency, as we're finishing this up? Do you agree with the incumbency that Steve is beloved?
Steve's beloved.
Like everyone's if Steve dies, there's going to be a riot.
I saw that. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I agree that Steve's beloved, but I also, I feel that void that there's an existing relationship there. I'm bad at names.
No, that's fine.
The two characters, it's Mike's brother and the sister of.
So it's Mike's sister.
Mike's sister, and who's the.
So the real life
the brother.
Yeah.
The guy who got in season 1, the whole reason that Stranger Things exists.
Yeah. So they're Charlie. Well, his real name is Charlie, and whatever. They're a real couple in real life. Okay. Those two. I'm not satisfied by their relationship either. She's a complete badass. Of the main characters, and again, I'm terrible with names too. The kid with the screwed up teeth. Mm-hmm. Help me out with his name.
The kid with the messed up teeth, the chubby kid.
He's not chubby, but.
With the hat. He's always wearing a hat.
Yeah.
He looks like the
guy.
By
the way, this season says thinking cap.
He looks like the guy from 30 Rock that's always wearing a cap.
Okay.
Like they're the same.
Yeah.
Like
what's his
older
name?
Brother.
People are screaming at us right now. And I just finished
any of these kids' names. Ethan. Let's say his name's Ethan.
His relationship. I need to Google it right now.
His name is Gabe or Gavin or something.
I was gonna say
Jeff. His name is
Vince. It starts with a G. So
yeah, it's
so anyways, he is
it's Greg.
Dustin.
Dustin.
His real
name's Dustin.
His real name is
In the show,
his real name is
Dustin.
Gayton.
His name's Dustin in the
It's
show,
Gayton,
for
but
sure.
in Dustin. So anyways, his
Messed up.
relationship with
Teeth
Steve
are fine.
and his relationship with
His relationship with the rock and roll guy. You had it.
I just said
a
it.
second ago.
Are the most satisfying relationships. Dustin
This is terrible.
builds
But
other
she cut this
people
whole
up.
section.
Why should we?
We
cut
can't
it out?
remember a damn name of any character. It says
I said
11.
Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie. Dustin. I don't know. Dustin. He's evolved the least. All these characters have evolved so much. Like obviously.
Okay, so Lucas, it's not fair because Lucas became a sports, a hero.
He
And
made a shot.
in season 4.
And then Mike. He's the cool one, right?
You can I blow your mind?
Who's the other kid that got taken in season 1? Will. There's obviously there's a storyline going on there that we'll learn about in season 5, I'm sure. But Dustin just hasn't evolved at all.
That bullshit.
Everybody has evolved. Like Mike's in love. Dustin, not Dustin. Lucas.
Will hasn't evolved. He's still just a mopey.
No, Will's evolved.
No.
You're gonna Will has evolved. He has feelings for Mike, and it will all come around in season 5.
Yeah, they planted that seed, but
They did.
Here's the one thing when I was googling the show as I was watching it. So Robin and Steve, and Steve
Mhm.
are the big plot point for season 3.
Yeah.
Steve likes Robin. They were coming off of their drugs in season 3 or whatever.
Was she a lesbian in season 3?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that
I
part.
rewatched the last 6 episodes of season 3 before I went into season 4.
I don't remember that part.
The best part is, and I like knowing these little facts.
Mhm.
She's the child of
Mhm.
a famous couple.
Yeah.
So Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter,
Mm.
and she looks like neither of them.
I think she's got a little Uma.
Okay, a little bit.
I mean, the haircut helps.
Uma's one of the most striking females of like our generation or whatever. But by the way, of those two, Gattaca is a fantastic movie. Watch it if you haven't seen it.
Never heard
Uma
of it.
Thurman and Ethan Hawke, and it's a futuristic type movie. But again, super satisfying. I'm tired of having to defend, and everyone's talking about plot armor, and I understand, broken ankles and blah blah blah. You have to suspend disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
There's a world called the Upside Motherfucking Down,
Mm-hmm.
and they throw a towel between.
That's cool though. They thought
awesome.
about that for a long time.
It's awesome. Whatever.
You're why I know about that show, by the way.
No.
Yeah. You came to Highland Park, which, by the way...
Oh, that was at your master's graduation party, and we
Yeah.
binged on that and Giordano's. Perfect night.
It was awesome, and I had no idea what the show was.
I don't suggest things to you. It's typically the other way. Hey, I know
with the
I know a
Apple
great
one.
baseball team in Wisconsin, by the way, if you're ever...
I'm not really in the market for new baseball teams. I got one that I like, and which was the whole point of you coming to Chicago.
Was to impart on you a TV show.
Was to see the Chicago Cubs
And I did.
play the St. Louis Cardinals in what traditionally, speaking of tradition,
Yep.
is the biggest rivalry in to the Cubs. Their rivalry with the Cardinals traditionally has
Yep.
been greater, but now I believe there is a Brewers Cubs rivalry that is edging towards either equal or greater than the
you
Cardinals
can't
rivalry.
you can't usurp.
You can usurp
50 years of tradition.
And I think it's because the proximity of Wisconsinites to Chicago, and the conversation. You have to have that conversation, and the Bears Packers thing, and the reason why it can is because the Brewers were American League for so long. There's no precedent. It's not like for 50 years they weren't rivals and now they are. It's that for 50 years there was no possibility of them being rivals.
Well,
Or however long the Brewers have been around.
Exactly. I was about to say you're lucky that you said
The
50.
Braves. Milwaukee baseball.
That franchise left.
Mm-hmm.
So the Brewers started off as the Seattle Pilots for a year, and they only had a year. Like everyone talks about sports bases not having any like longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Seattle Pilots lasted a year before they moved to Milwaukee.
Wow.
A lot of that is
Did they have a stadium?
You can think to your I don't know to your commissioner Bud Selig, but
mine, yeah, he's mine
because
Hall of
he
Famer
was moving up. And that's another famous actor, baseball, is Bart Giamatti.
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti.
Bart Giamatti is related to Paul Giamatti?
Yeah, that's his dad.
You're shitting me.
No.
For real?
Yeah, it's his dad.
Damn.
Bart Giamatti.
Holy shit.
The most famous.
My mind's fucking blown right now.
What's the most famous thing he did in baseball? Bart Giamatti.
I mean, I couldn't tell you.
Banned Pete Rose for life.
He banned Pete Rose. That's
the only thing that his career. But
if there's anything we learned, you shouldn't ban anyone because the two people who were banned were wrong.
A top 5 TV show for me right now, and Paul Giamatti dominates in it, even though I root against him, is Billions. And I'm not a Paul Giamatti fan in that show, but
So you're telling me that the commissioner of baseball in the 80s
89
is Paul Giamatti's dad?
Yep. And
holy
a
shit.
Chicago comedian does a spot on, just amplified 10%, Paul Giamatti impression, and it was the guy that was. Did you watch Two Broke Girls?
I didn't.
Jonathan Kite. If you want to laugh, Jonathan Kite
I love to laugh.
Is an amazing
Everyone
impressionist. Go
All
look
right.
up Jonathan Kite, Paul Giamatti, and it's just fantastic.
Paul Giamatti in. I mean, like when I watched the show John Adams, that I can't think of anyone less suited for that role and the role of his wife than the two who played them.
Yep.
Just god awful casting, in my opinion. Love Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Boy, does that show. That show is great. But not for the obvious reason.
He's right up there with and rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh yeah.
As schlubs, who I would, but could act. You could give them. I mean, you could put Paul Giamatti in Top Gun, and he would have done.
Yeah, he'd figure that shit out.
He'd figure it out.
He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm definitely a captain."
Philip Seymour Hoffman went toe to toe with Tom Cruise in a Mission Impossible, and you bought it. He was the cerebral enemy. He didn't have to be a masculine, and that's what they did so good in the 007 movies. It wasn't like, the supervillain was. It was just a mindful individual. So
excellent.
The Lex Luthor. Anyways, done with this beer.
Yeah.
But,
so it's a good beer. Vietnamese iced coffee. There's the only last thing I'll point out between the difference between regional coffee beans is that there's cold brew and then there's iced coffee. They're different, and cold brew is definitely at a higher level because it's brewed cold, whereas iced coffee is brewed hot and then put over ice.
I wouldn't have been able to tell you that.
They're different, and I think that cold brew's held in a higher regard. They definitely put cold brew on nitro more often, from what I've seen. I prefer the other. I prefer the hot coffee that's put on ice, which I think is what this is. I think this is a really, really good stout. The coffee's king. They named it aptly. Again, I can't tell you that Vietnamese coffee beans are any different than any other coffee beans. But
it sounds exotic. Do you think what they chose is because it sounds exotic?
I don't know that. I think that if you put Vietnamese in front of anything, it's hardcore. When Vietnam to me is like just like metal as fuck.
My favorite restaurant egg rolls pho is all Vietnamese style, but it's made by Hmong individuals. But
okay, it's just like I know you shouldn't conflate them, but Vietnam, Laos, and that region,
Cambodia,
Thailand,
Thailand.
they're like, I mean,
Burma.
I mean, like you think that like spending some time at CBGB's in New York City is like hardcore? Like go there, go to Cambodia. You're fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
If you go to Cambodia. So this beer is pretty hardcore. And I really like it. I think the flavors are excellent. The balance is perfect. It's not too boozy. It is at 8%, so it doesn't even claim to be too boozy. And it's not too bougie. I don't know what that a beer could be, unless it's a seltzer. This beer's good. I like it. It's I am at a 4.5.
Wow. The one thing I want to say about the can art is I would wear a T-shirt that says "Good beer, good times." So on the side here in the '70s font.
Oh, that's definitely 70s font. Yeah.
And an individual walking on a high wire, but I would put the one line under the other, and you guys can zoom in.
Oh yeah.
Just to make it more.
Or maybe one on the front, one on the back.
So you said 4.5?
4.5.
This beer is going to be a record for a while. I do not care for this beer at all.
Wow.
This beer is
run differential.
The run differential is a big one on this one, and usually it's the other way.
I really like.
Where
this
I
beer.
laud every beer, I cannot laud this beer. This beer is a punch to the mouth in bitterness.
What? No way.
I cannot tell that it's made with lactose, even though it advertises it significantly on the can. I'm not a coffee drinker. I have coffee at my desk. I have it, if my employees come and drink it. I have it so it breaks up my palate. I could care less if I have decaf or whatever. I'm not after caffeine content in life.
No. No, it's coffee.
This just is grating on my palate. I guess I just missed the sweetness. And I even said, 15 minutes ago, I was like, coffee is a flavor. But this is just not burnt because this is excellently crafted. It's just not for me, and beers are sometimes not for me, and that's okay. Off the top rope, I give this a 2.25.
Wow, that is a large differential.
If you look at, it's exactly half, and I wrote it down ahead of time. Which essentially what I just had. I think the last time I was that low was Wild, Ohio.
Maybe. Yeah,
and that was
time
even
you were that low, you were way low.
Because usually I'm pretty...
Now, I'm going to have to give you more credit than you're giving yourself. When we worked in the same building, you were you approached Seattle's Best before you would approach Starbucks. And I always appreciated that about you. But apparently that did not factor in here.
No, it's just...
Because this is not burned. These aren't burned beans.
That's
what Starbucks does.
Yeah, I tried to overexpressed. Could you say overexpressed beans? OEBs.
I wish I knew what you were thinking so I could identify what you don't like.
I'm just making shit up.
But this does have lactose in it, so it is coffee with cream, but it's not a lot. It's I don't know.
The can would make it suggest that it's a lot of cream.
The can would suggest it's a lot of cream, but it's not. And lactose really isn't a creaminess as much as it is sugar.
I would hope to think that the Vietnamese coffee is robust. It's supposed to be bold, strong flavors like that, not like a French.
I wonder if the pollution from China makes its way down to Vietnam, because you would want the more pure bean. You would think would be the most flavorful.
It's an interesting beer. It just happens to not be for me.
Vietnamese iced coffee. There's a lot. There's a lot to discuss. We need to get the guys from Hi-Wire on here. Just call in. We'll take your call.
Yeah, the last time I just actually lambasted a beer respectfully like that was Rogue, and Jim Klein hooked us up with some stuff. So yeah, they asked a born on date. So I'll just get that up. When was this born on date? April 28th.
April 28th. Yep.
So
very new beer,
reasonably fresh,
very young.
Just not my jam, and that's okay.
All right, I don't know where we're at time wise. Probably in the 3 digits.
I know. This is the best lighting we've had in a while. So it's dark outside.
It's very good lighting.
So
it's because it's gonna storm.
It's storming. I'm glad I put all the seed and chemicals that I did yesterday, so I can soak it up now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I need a sprinkler. I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
Hit me.
And you can answer them yes or no, or you can explain your reasoning. It's up to you.
It's America. I can do my shit.
That's absolutely the case. But if I say rapid fire, you don't explain. Just say yes or no.
Okay.
It is America, though.
Yep.
So this game, I don't know if it's a game, but it's called Appropriate Beer Time. That's what I've named it.
The Chicago Sky just lost their WNBA game, and
Chicago Sky.
Jerks.
Brittany Griner, what team is she on? She's not. She needs to be recovered.
Phoenix and they just read her letter. She's Phoenix, so.
Okay, well, it's not Chicago.
Mercury?
Then, so I don't know.
No,
I don't know anything about the WNBA. I think that equal pay for the equal job is the right approach, but in the case of the WNBA, I just don't. I don't believe that the appeal's there. Anyway,
hit me.
So, when is the appropriate time? Is it appropriate to drink beer in the following situations? And
this is gonna be rapid fire.
This probably will be rapid fire. Okay, but I only have like 2 situations for each kind of theme. The first theme is sports. Is it appropriate to drink beer at a professional sports
So I'm
game?
glad you're saying professional, yes.
Now, is it appropriate to drink beer at your child's sports game?
And
this is how the game goes.
I fucked up on this. I didn't realize that my cousin, who I appreciate dearly and has given me 2 godchildren, I didn't realize that it wasn't acceptable to pull out a cooler at a high school softball game and drink beer.
That's an interesting point because
I know now the error in my ways.
Some pretty some staunch thoughts on this.
In my defense, I was only 23 because there's only.
Oh yeah, you're way too young to know.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if it's sold at the venue, then it's fine. Then it's okay to drink it. But if not, no. But a lot of club sports, club soccer, baseball, whatever, people drink. Can't believe it. I would not introduce alcohol into a sport, into an event where parents' children are playing in that sport. I wouldn't do that. Okay. Next theme is a party. Is it appropriate to drink at a party with your close friends only?
Yes.
No kids. Obviously it is. Close friends with kids.
Yes.
Kid's birthday party.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Kid's birthday party.
Now,
even if your friends drop off and leave.
So
it's you and your wife. You're hosting a birthday party for your oldest. All her friends are here. You got everything. Everything's fine. Like no flaws in the plan.
So I'm coming into this where this has happened just a couple of times. I've gone and I've dropped my daughter off at her first birthday party, and I was told it was okay to leave because we didn't realize this is our oldest or whatever.
Sure. That happens.
So if people would leave them at my house and I was the only parent, I wouldn't drink. But since Stacy's here, I'm gonna have a couple of beers.
Perfect. All right, fair enough. At the beach.
Yes. And fuck laws. Like I understand glass. Don't have glass at the beach.
Don't have glass. At the city pool.
It's probably a concrete thing, so I'm gonna say no on the city pool.
Home pool.
Yes.
Obviously, yes. I agree with that one.
Are you with don't drink at the city pool?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's out in public and it's not served there, and it's just it's mainly kids. It's not an adult destination. It's mainly kids.
It's mainly kids. The only
birthday parties at my house.
Conflict to that would be if you're a member of I guess a country club, but I've never been a member of a country club, so I don't know if this is true.
That's
but
a
I
membership
think there's
drink.
Pool clubs.
Yep. There are in the Dayton area too.
You would probably be okay to drink there. even with kids present. And then finally, I guess this is rapid fire, but I had intended on listing more. Paid ticket music event.
Obviously, yes.
Children's music event.
Like, so the children are the entertainers?
Yeah.
No.
Agreed. What was the next one? It was. Oh, I forgot. I forgot. Anyway.
Like, if you do like an orchestra or something like that, wine. I mean, don't be. There's tasteful ways.
There's
to
dinner
do it.
parties. When's it appropriate? Yeah, the dinner parties, but.
I would think that I'm more liberal when it comes to being okay with drinking, just because that's how I was brought up and that's the culture in Wisconsin. I think our opinions would clash from people from different regions.
Yeah, I think so. Actually a good. We should explore that more later.
I think it's regionally more acceptable to pull out a cocktail or a drink or a beer or whatever in the Midwest.
Yep. Let's go rapid fire here.
Yep.
Memorial Day barbecue.
Of course.
Labor Day.
Yep.
4th of July.
Yep.
Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Christmas.
Yep.
Christmas morning.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I
so
said
Christmas morning, it's popular to either have like a mimosa or like a Bloody Mary or whatever. No one's going to bat an eye in my family. Either side of the family.
Fair enough. Halloween.
Yes. We trick or treat around here, and people just hand out drinks.
That's true. That's a good point. I had not thought of that.
Shots. Yeah, we embrace it.
I would definitely come here for trick or treating next year. Now that my kids are too old to give.
Yeah, across the street they're giving away delicious craft beers.
Oh, I want that. Easter.
That just turns into another day. Like there's so typically a Sunday or whatever because you have Great Friday or whatever. Yeah. I'm having like a glass of bourbon or something like that with Easter dinner.
All right, let's go. Lunchtime weekdays.
No, am I at work or going back to work?
We're talking like regular schedule weekdays.
90% of the time, no.
Okay, Saturday.
Of course.
Sunday.
Yep.
Okay, nighttime weekdays.
It's okay, but I don't do it most of the time.
Home or away, does it matter?
No.
Doesn't matter. Saturday, obviously, we're just gonna say yes for all time Saturday, morning to night. Sunday, let's just talk Sundays. Is there an inappropriate time on Sunday other than, well, you know what? In church, people drink.
Yeah, I was supposed to say at church.
People drink wine at church.
That depends. So like, yeah, but you're not participating in. That's a sacrament, so they would consider it different.
All right. That was all I had.
We go to a place that we aptly name church on Sunday.
Yeah.
To drink.
Yeah.
And that's Warped Wing.
Every single week.
We've always before kids.
Before kids.
But that brewery is built on funding from myself and Aaron.
Juggalo Aaron, sponsor of today's Can Art Boner segment. That's all I had.
Yep.
When is it appropriate to drink? If you want to leave a comment on when it's not, I think that's better than when it is.
I will say this, that I will encourage it whenever I pass away. Have a beer.
Okay. I do have to pee, so I'm gonna go.
Because I'm trying to think of like a really somber situation or whatever, like realist or whatever. But that I get to do the closing. That's it from
you do the closing.
Episode 191. I think we really built to a crescendo. I wasn't too terribly into it until we got together, and I was like, "This is gonna be magic that happens."
I'm glad that it took until we were together.
For on behalf of JT, I'm Matt, and keep having a good time. Cheers.
Bye.